Miss Willow, you ready to be the executive producer? All right, let's do this thing. Hello, and welcome back to Women for Wealth. So today I want to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the economy. First of all, calm down, don't freak out, don't get stressed, don't get anxiety. Everything's going to be fine. The U.S. economy is exceptional and it can rebound and it can recover unlike any other economy that historians have ever studied. I mean, every economist will tell you, if you look at the U.S. economy, it is more robust than any other economy that we've ever had in human history. So, first off, I just want to say that. Number two, the Federal Reserve Bank guy and Trump are kind of being schoolboys in the schoolyard having a pissing contest. I don't know why. It's definitely causing concerns in the stock market. Do not look at your investments. Do not look at your retirement accounts. Just wait. Let it calm down. Once everything calms down and everything stabilizes, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine long term. I think, in my personal opinion, that the Federal Reserve should cut the interest rates. That will help a lot. I also believe taxes need to be cut. Doge, they need to go deeper. That's my personal opinion. I don't necessarily like what all they've done and how they've done it, but we need to cut, at least in my opinion, $2 trillion from the national debt. And so to get the national debt to go down, you've got to reduce spending. You've got to cut unnecessary jobs. You've got to reduce. And, you now on your personal wealth journey. And so don't let the noise that's happening in the room distract you. Because that's all it is. It's just noise. It's going to calm down. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to recover. The economy likes stability and certainty. And right now we don't have certainty. Trump's putting tariffs on, taking tariffs off. Well, there's going to be a hold. Well, we're still going to tariff China, because we're in a trade war with China. The Fed Reserve is saying they're not going to cut interest rates. Again, my personal opinion, I think that's wrong. I think he's doing it political because he doesn't like Trump. And I understand that. If I was him, I wouldn't like what Trump said about me either. But you cannot play egos with the American economy. That needs to stop. He needs to go and he needs to reduce the interest rate, and he needs to do it this week, I think. And then I think he needs to retire and just move on. If Trump doesn't like him, and that's very obvious he doesn't, fine. Go do something else. Don't tell me that man hadn't accumulated enough money that he's wealthy enough that he doesn't have to work if he doesn't want to. Or if he wants another job, he can go get another job. But right now, the egos and the politics they're playing with the American economy need to stop, in my opinion. I'm political type A, I guess you might say. I'm not a conservative or a Democrat. I am a conservative fiscally, but I'm a liberal social person. So my philosophy is you've got to have fiscal responsibility. You've got to have a balanced budget. You've got to take care of the finances. But from a social perspective, I don't care. I honestly don't. Whatever gets you through the night, gets you through the night, as long as you're not hurting somebody else, and especially if you're not hurting kids. Because that is a line I will draw every single time, and I will go to war for that one. You are not going to hurt children. And I'm afraid that's unfortunately taking place some in America today. I think we need to do some of these hard questions. Then we need to look in the mirror and we need to self-evaluate. And I think we need to correct some of the things that we've done. And I think we need to move forward with a deeper sense of purpose and core values. Because that's the thing. At the end of the day, you got to take care of your citizenship. Whoever is a citizen of this country, I'm glad you're here. I want you to be here. Illegals, we've got to figure out immigration. I think immigration is important, but we need to do it correctly. You need to bring people in legally, because if they're brought in legally, then they've got protections. When you've got somebody that's undocumented, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, but it's my opinion. When you've got undocumented people coming into the U.S. like they have been, that's the next slave class. We we as a society, not me personally or you personally, but as a society, we treat undocumented immigrants horribly. There'll be 20 of them living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath trailer. And I know this because my dad and my brother have trailers that they rent. And they say it all the time. There'll be 20 illegal immigrants. One person's legal. The one person that's legal will get put on the lease. And then as long as they're paying their rent on time, they don't get hassled. So they bring in other people who are undocumented, and they end up with like 20 people living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath trailer. It's just ridiculous. That's not good living conditions. On top of that, a lot of employers do not fairly compensate undocumented aliens. If you're an American citizen, you have laws and you have workman's comp, you have OSHA to protect you. Some states have higher minimum wage payment requirements. All those laws and all those things are put in place to protect American citizens. Undocumented immigrants don't get I let's take care of these people. Let's do right by them. If you want to bring people in, great. I have no problem with that. But do it in the right way so they're documented and they're protected and they're safe. And, they have a good life when they come here. They're not going to be mistreated. And so I apologize. That's my soapbox for today. So just a reminder, you are on your wealth journey. You have done the analysis, you know what's coming in, you know what's going out, you've got a monthly budget that you're following, you have a plan in place, you are executing that plan, so you are investing. If you've got an employer 401k, you are going to match that to the max. So if they match up to 6%, you need to put 6% in. Whatever your employee matches, maximize that out with your 401k. You're going to be doing that. You're going to be doing whatever else you feel comfortable with. Again, it's educate yourself, get comfortable, and then include that part of your plan. If you don't understand Bitcoin, don't buy Bitcoin. If you don't understand stocks, don't buy stocks. If you don't understand what the difference between a 401k or an IRA is, educate yourself before you start putting money into those different programs. You want to understand what the difference is and how each would benefit, and then determine what the best path for you is. And you can do this all on your own. You do not have to pay a wealth advisor or someone a lot of money. You do not. You can do this on your own. Educate yourself. There's a lot of information out there. I share information on here for free. Other people share information for free. Don't be fearful. Be educated. Put your plan in place. Do your monthly budget. Pay off your debt. Start investing. Buy assets. All those things. You know what it is. You know what to do. You just have to decide today's the day I'm going to do it. I'm going to be wealthy. And I'm going to focus on, my health and my family and what I can do. If you have anxiety around food scarcity, build a garden. I have another channel, Heather's Greenhouse, where I walk around and I just show off my garden. I have a mixed garden. I have a lot of ornamentals. I also have a lot of edibles. And so, I'd recommend whatever you buy is what you should plant. So if you don't eat a lot of tomatoes, don't spend time, money, and effort on growing tomatoes. Whatever you like. And I will say that there's some things that are going to be more bang for your buck. So for example, herbs. If you enjoy fresh herbs in your cooking, if you buy them at the grocery store, they are crazy expensive. And they are dirt cheap to buy seeds, throw them in the ground, and just grow them yourself. Parsley, cilantro, oregano, dill, rosemary. I think I've got all that. Oh, and basil. I've got all that out in the backyard right now. So if I want any of those herbs, I'm not paying a premium price from the grocery store. I just walk in my backyard with a pair of scissors. Those are very easy to grow. Things such as potatoes and onions are so cheap. You can buy the organic versions at the grocery store for cheaper than you can probably get the starts and, the soil and the fertilizer and the water and your time and effort. It's potatoes and onions don't tend to be worth it. Any staples don't tend to be worth it. I don't grow corn, for example. Corn, potatoes, and onions are so easy to buy and they're so cheap to buy. Just buy organic from the grocery store for those. But anything else that you enjoy eating, especially herbs, because you're going to make a lot of bang for your buck for herbs. That is something, if you don't have an herb garden and you like herbs, or if you like tea, I love growing things for tea. I love growing chamomile so I can dry it and I can make my own homemade chamomile tea. That is simple, easy. You control the pesticides and the herbicides so you know that it's all organic, it's natural, it's clean, and you dry it low heat, doesn't damage the compounds. Then, you brew your tea. It is so healthy and it's so refreshing, and you get the satisfaction of knowing that you grew those and you dried them and that you made your own tea concoction in a home, and you can look them up online. There's so many different versions. Hibiscus tea, chamomile tea. Now, I will say I tried to grow like regular tea leaves. That didn't go so well for me. It was a difficult thing. They just didn't like the heat and humidity where I live. So if you live in an area that can grow camellia, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, the Latin name, but green tea leaves, by the way, are from the camellia family. So you buy a green tea plant, and all tea is green tea, and then it's been dried or it's been fermented or it's been processed or it's been roasted. But, you know, almost all teas are green tea. They come from the same plant. If you can grow it, great. Grow your own tea. That'd be wonderful. I'd love to be able to do it. Like I said, I tried it and couldn't. So in conclusion, in wrap up, let me just say that it's going to be okay. We're all going to get through this together. If there's anything that I can help you with, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm here to help. We're going to get through this. We are going to get through this. And at the end of it, we're going to be healthier and wealthier together. So until next time, I wish you health and wealth. What do you think, Miss Willow? Was that acceptable? Did I do good enough? What do you think? What do you think? Say, I approve.